What's good, fam? Teacher Eddie back with the full breakdown. So, earlier today, a couple hours ago, I released the scoring of Jeff Bezos versus Mansa Musa, and it was fire. Loved it. Mansa Musa, in my opinion, won the battle, but now I'm going to do the full line-by-line breakdown, which is what you expect from history teacher Eddie. So let's get into it.
Mansa Musa versus Jeff Bezos! Voila, by the holy Quran, I lay my hand upon. I blaze Bezos, inflict inflammatory damage on Amazon. Burn it down like when they put the cattle on. The hottest on the map since the Atlas of Catalan.
Like I said in my scoring reaction, look, I don't watch much Scru, but Screwface Jean, I mean, he killed it here. His flow, impeccable. The timing, impeccable. The fact that he's having so much fun doing this. This little line here when he just waltzes into the screen like, King of Mali, loved it. Just absolutely phenomenal. But breaking down some of these lines. So, voila by the Holy Quran. So, of course, Mansa Musa was a Muslim. And voila is saying, like, by the grace of God. So, he's swearing to God on the Holy Quran. The Quran, of course, being the holy book for the Muslims. That he's going to destroy
I lay my hand upon, I blaze Bezos, inflict inflammatory damage on Amazon. Burn it down like when they put the cattle on. The hottest on the map since the Atlas of
Catalan. Great line. Obviously doing their due diligence in research and history and everything else. So in the 14th century, which when Mansa Musa was around, the Atlas of Catalan was like the map of maps. This was by far the most influential map to that date. It was used by everybody who's anybody. So it was, when saying, the hottest thing since the Atlas of Catalan, it was true, because the Atlas of Catalan was like the hottest thing around.
Catalan, King of Mali, with cold bars you can't escape from. Lyrically, I pack heat, you pack a tape gun.
That was a great line. So, King of Mali. So he was the king of Mali. Mali is still around to this day. It's located in Western Africa. He's spitting gold bars. So again, spitting fire, spitting gold bars. Double meaning, of course. The gold bars is what Mansa Musa is known for. So Mansa Musa is considered by many to be the richest man in all of history. And the majority of his riches came from gold and salt. So again, great line. But this one, man, he's saying,
with cold bars you can't escape from. Lyrically, I pack heat, you pack a tape.
I pack heat, you pack a tape gun. So, of course, making a reference to Amazon, packaging, tape guns. Great line. Love it.
I'm laying the blows you can't dodge. This ain't sales tax. I left footprints in the Sahara. I know how to try.
Such great. Oh, my God. He's saying, man, you can't dodge these lines, much like your sales tax. Of course, Bezos, much like a lot of wealthy people, gets a lot of criticism for the fact that they really don't pay much in taxes. But the I left footprints in the Sahara, which he did. They reference it later on, which I'll get into more when he went on his pilgrimage to Mecca and his trip through Egypt, which is very important. But I left prints in the Sahara, so I know hot tracks. So, of course, leaving tracks in the sand, the heat, and, of course, dropping hot tracks.
Plus dorks like .com bubbles when I hit them. Nah, you can't spit, you got that algorithm. Here's a nugget of advice that gets your union problems handled. Want workers that don't piss? Hire some camels.
I mean, just this first verse, Mansa Musa wins. Just his first verse, there are so many great lines. The line about, hey, if you want employees who don't piss, why don't you get some camels? So this was a huge issue, which Amazon denied, until it came out that not only were they making their drivers specifically pee in bottles, even take dumps on the road because they had quotas to meet and all that stuff. So there was so much pressure, but they didn't even try to hide it. They would actually mention it in meetings. There were internal memos that were discovered, which actually encouraged people to pee in bottles, basically. So that was a huge deal. And there were a few other lines here. I bust dorks like .com bubbles. So the .com era, when it first started back in the 90s, 2000s, so many people were making so much money creating websites and all these different things on the internet. But that bubble got so big, man, because everybody was doing it. That shit burst, right? But that doesn't mean people still don't make crazy money online.
.com bubbles when I hit them. Nah, you can't spit. You got that
algorithm. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know who I'd want to listen to. I mean, both are torture, really. Al Gore, former vice president of the United States under Bill Clinton, famously ran against George Bush II in 2000. And then the Supreme Court basically had to decide who won the election. Thanks, Florida. But yeah, Al Gore is known for really just putting people to sleep. Just like a lot of Democratic candidates over the last 20 years. Bob Dole, I forgot what the other guy's name was, who ran against, I think it was Bush, if I'm not mistaken, or Obama. But either way, yeah, he's got that algorithm. That's for sure.
algorithm. Here's a nugget of advice to get your union problems handled. Want workers that don't piss? Hire some camels. I expanded horizons with libraries and mosques while you chopped off the top of all the mom and pop shops. All you widened was the gap between the haves and have-nots. Now they ordering or living in your cardboard box.
Oof, that was such a great, oh man. Like that really, like, that hits hard, man. But that's true. Mansa Musa was definitely somebody who was very altruistic. He gave away a lot of his fortunes. He also, for example, even Mali, he made Mali like a cultural epicenter of knowledge. He built so many libraries and mosques and schools, and he gave away his fortunes to the poor people for a specific reason, which Jeff Bezos is going to mention later.
Libraries and mosques while you chopped off the top of all the mom and pop shops. All you widened was the gap between the haves and have-nots. Now they ordering or living in your cardboard.
That is true, man. I mean, but you can't blame Jeff Bezos because, again, if the consumers, it's all about supply and demand, right? In capitalism. And hey, man, Walmart, we hate on them so much, but there's a reason why they're at the top. We may bitch about them, but hey, I order on Amazon all the time. It's so much more convenient. And with mom and pop shops, I mean, look, man, it's rough because number one, they have to charge more because they're brick and mortar. Number two, yeah, you get maybe better customer service, but not always. But yeah, I mean, he has killed the whole mom and pop shop thing, but he's not the only one, of course. But the line about them living in the cardboard boxes that's harsh.
At Amazon, our product research is phenomenal, but I've never heard your story, and I own Audible.
That line I did not like because I actually have had so many students who would say like crap like this and it would piss the hell out of me. Like we would reference a book. Like I remember we were doing Canterbury Tales by Chaucer. And there was this one girl who was like this know-it-all. She's like, you don't need to tell me. I mean, actually, I know everything. And we were reading Canterbury Tales and she's like, well, this book must not be popular. I was like, what are you talking about? It's one of the greatest classics. It's been read for centuries. She's like, oh, I never heard of it. Oh, you never heard of it. So Jeff Bezos saying, I've never heard of your story, Mansa Musa, and I own Audible. So basically, you're celebrating your own ignorance, right? Not a good line. So dig some more gold there.
Go dig some more gold there, Kanye West Africa. I'm hotter than the soundtrack to Battlestar Galactica. Never trade blows with Jesse Jeff Bezos.
I mentioned this when I did the scoring breakdown. I was like, this motherfucker really referred to himself as Jazzy Jeff Bezos. I get it. Of course, he couldn't refer to him. Well, I mean, he could have, but it wouldn't have made much sense because his name is Jeff Bezos. But Jazzy Jeff, man, that's like picking, a Beatle and being like, hey, I'll be Ringo. Like, why would you want to be Jazzy Jeff? You wouldn't want to be Will Smith? Come on. The Battlestar Galactica line, okay. I mean, if you think the Battlestar Galactica soundtrack is hot, okay.
Egghead with a huge set of huevos. I serve more people on the web than Spider-Man.
That was kind of a mediocre line as well. I serve more people on the web than Spider-Man. I get the web reference, but Spider-Man really doesn't serve it. It doesn't make sense.
Like a soccer mom, that's why you're rowing caravans. You're overrated, like you leave economies inflated.
Yeah, that's true. So it was kind of like a gift and a curse. But saying you rap like a soccer mom, that's why you travel in caravans. So again, when Mansa Musa makes his pilgrimage to Mecca, which is one of the requirements of, a lot of Muslims, and one of the things that Muslims strive for is to make a pilgrimage to Mecca, which is the holy city. He went through Egypt and Cairo, and during his trip, he gave away a lot of gold. Estimates are that he gave up to about a quarter of his wealth on that trip. And the problem with that was he was doing a good thing, but he also inflated the price of gold, just dropped to like nothing, and it really affected Egypt for well over a decade when it came to that. And then on his way back, to do further good, he offered to buy that gold back, even though he gave it away. But he was willing to buy it back at like crazy inflated prices as well. So he did try to do good, but unfortunately it did backfire. But when he did travel, he traveled with a giant caravan of people and animals and just, all these different things. It was like a rock star tour.
Soccer mom, that's why you're rowing caravans. You're overrated, like you leave economies inflated. You're about to taste some of that salt that you traded. What's the long-term play in giving your wealth away? Cause now I feed your whole country for the price of a cup of coffee per day.
Oof, that line was, that was harsh, man. So that's a reference to, if you don't know, there were, I don't know if they still have those commercials, but I remember back in the 90s and 80s and even 2000s, they would have like, especially like Sally Struthers, who used to be on All in the Family. They would do these commercials on television, kind of like those Sarah McLachlan dog commercials, which depressed the hell out of everyone. But basically, like, you can feed a child in Africa for less than a cup of coffee a day. This was, of course, before Starbucks, right? Because by Starbucks prices, you can feed those kids for like a year for the price of one cup of coffee. But yeah, again, Bezos is being kind of an asshole. But again, it's being true to himself by saying, oh man, what, you give your fortune away? Please. But you bankrupted your own country, which is true. And I can feed your country for the price of a cup of coffee. Yeah. Well.
You bow to me like you did to the king of Cairo.
This was the line I had the biggest issue with. So again, when he went to Egypt, he famously refused to bow to the king of Cairo. He said, I don't remember the direct quote, but it was something like the only person I would bow before would be God, right? So he refused to bow before the king of Cairo. And the king of Cairo was kind of like, well, okay, but, you got this cool caravan and you're giving away all this gold. Please, feel free, stay, my friend, please, no problem. It's kind of like the Egyptians you have in New York City who try to sell you bootleg DVDs and perfumes and colognes and knockoff like sweaters and shit. Like, my friend, no problem. Special price for you, only for you. Please tell no one else. But yeah, so that one's not true. He did not bow before the king of Cairo.
You're about as hack as Saudis have hit my iPhone. You'll be more ashamed than when you accidentally killed your mom. When I make you shit your pants, worse than diapers.com.
Yeah. So, Mansa Musa, this is debated. This is not anything that's known to be a fact. But there is a lot of opinion that Mansa Musa may have accidentally killed his mother by dropping a knife on her. And he was extremely ashamed about it. And that was one of the main reasons why he started giving away his fortune as almost like kind of a penance. He also said that he would fast for the rest of his life, which obviously can't do. But he was extremely, extremely ashamed and broken by his mother's death. Whether it was him doing it by accident, that's disputable, but a lot of historians do agree that more likely than not, he did accidentally kill his mother.
Even when you accidentally killed your mom, when I make you shit your pants, where's the diapers.com?
Diapers.com, of course, another thing that Jeff Bezos owns.
Hey, yo, Lex Loser, you look like a villain at Comic-Con. You getting ate up. You should have battled me on Ramadan.
Goddamn, I mean, Scru comes back with just right away. I mean, he killed Jeff Bezos' entire verse with that little intro. So Lex Loser. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to people on my Discord, and I was like, man, you know, like what would make an amazing ERB is Jeff Bezos versus Lex Luthor. Because basically, same person. Same person as far as I'm concerned. Jeff Bezos is Lex Luthor, just without the personality and charm. But again, when I say charm, it's more like cancer being charming. But yeah, and he's like, I'm eating you up, man. You should have battled me on Ramadan. Ramadan is, of course, a Muslim holiday where you fast, kind of similar to Yom Kippur for Jews like myself. Yeah, because I'm eating you up, man. You should have battled me when I was fasting.
And a harem of women's what I had on my staff. You married one woman, Jeff, and she cut you in half. David Pecker picked the peck of your Peter pigs. Now your new girl got them feeding these Seymour lips. And it turns out her own brother was the snitch. He, woo, fix your face. No wonder you bought Twitch.
God damn, that was a great line. Man, fix your face. No wonder he bought Twitch. Such a great line. But yeah, so that was a whole thing. So Jeff Bezos, yes, he was married, then he got divorced, and his wife, of course, took half, which was a lot of money, something like 50 billion, I think. But now Jeff Bezos' current girlfriend, her brother is suing Bezos, and I believe his sister too, for like defamation, because somehow pictures of Jeff Bezos' penis got leaked. And they said it was the brother who did it, which is probably true. So yeah, so that's a whole mess of things. I mean, come on, man. For somebody who owns Amazon and you got clouds and securities and all that stuff, you couldn't protect your own dick pics. That's kind of sad, man.
Now let me really break it down because there's more to him. He ain't a Bezos, his real name is Jorgensen. But daddy loved unicycles more than him, so we rolled out. Now that's a blue origin.
Yeah, so Jorgensen, that was an interesting story. So I forget when it was. I think it was like several years ago. All of a sudden, this dude who owns this bike shop, he gets informed that apparently he's Jeff Bezos' father. And his last name was Jorgensen. He owned a bike shop, hence the unicycle reference. And yeah, he was like, oh sure, I'm Jeff Bezos' father. But to his credit, at least, Mr. Jorgensen did say he was a crappy dad, and all that stuff. He owned up to it. He said he basically didn't know who his son was, where he was, what he was doing, all that stuff. So yeah, technically his last name is Jorgensen, yes, but you know, again, absentee father, right?
One small step towards a different profit. Cause these days you just as cocky as your rocket. I'm the cream of the crop. I'm on top. I'm ice cold. This Muslim just served you. Allah Mo.
Oof, that was so many great lines. Yeah, mentioning Jeff Bezos' rocket. Almost as successful as the Amazon phone. So the a la mode line, though, because he said, I'm so cold. So a la mode in this reference is when you serve pie with ice cream on top of it. It's called pie a la mode. A la mode could also mean something that's stylish and hip. But, of course, he's also playing it with Allah, which is the prophet in the Muslim religion. Allah mode. You just got served.
I'm lyrically lethal, I'm relentless, African verse immune. If I wanted to waste my life in desert space, I'd watch Dune.
You couldn't have gone with a Star Wars reference. You have to go with Dune. I don't get why people like that movie. But Dune, yeah, Dune is set in like desert, sand. Who cares? Whatever, man.
Give McKinsey 40 billion, so what? Earning every penny back only took me a month.
Mackenzie, of course, his wife, who took him for half, so it was 40 billion. And he's like, man, what's that, man? Only took me a month, man. Dirt off my shoulder. But yeah, I still like the Jorgensen line. Also remind me of you a gangster? Your real name is Clarence. That shit never gets old. That Eminem line.
I went from hard and dork to slick orc physique. Now I'm Lord of the Rings. Take a peek.
Lord of the Rings, the ring thing you put in your door and you could see the people, and which is why it's really hard to rob houses now. Thanks, Jeff Bezos. But yeah, I went from dork to whatever it was, slick physique. No, you're still a dork.
3 years to trek to Mecca, man, you must be tripping. One click, I'll get you there overnight with free shipping. I'm hard corporate, top tier in the Forbes list. You couldn't even hit top tier in Civ 6.
So, yeah, he said it took you 3 years to make your pilgrimage to Mecca. Well, to be fair, they were riding on camels and shit. He's saying, I can get you over there overnight with free shipping. Again, Amazon Prime shipping is just absolutely amazing. Civ 6 is a reference to the game Civilization, which my son is actually playing right now. So Jeff Bezos is saying, man, I'm the top of the Forbes list, but you, Mr. Ruler, you couldn't even crack the top tier in Civ 6.
I'm schooling you like Timbuktu, eating you like Whole Foods. Your ship is sailed just like the dude who came before you.
That was a great line. That's a deep, deep, deep cut. A lot of people don't know about this. But of course, he's making, I'm schooling you like Timbuktu. So again, Timbuktu, Mansa Musa, just like Mali, opened up schools and mosques and it just made it an epicenter of education. And so he's saying, I'm schooling you like Timbuktu.
Like Timbuktu, eating you like Whole Foods.
Eating you like Whole Foods, and of course Amazon fucking owns Whole Foods now.
Your ship is sailed just like the dude.
Your ship is sailed just like the dude before you. So the predecessor to Mansa Musa, who was also a Mansa, he set off on a trip, basically trying to do what Columbus did, but over 100 years earlier, and he never returned. And then Mansa Musa, of course, takes over and takes power. Not much is known about that Mansa, except for the story. There are really no written records about him or what his name was or anything. But yeah, your ship has sailed just like the dude before you. Never to return again.
Dude who came before you! You ain't fire, can't hold the candle to me!
You ain't fire, can't hold a Kindle to me. So, of course, the Kindle, reading apparatus, the Fire Stick. I do have a Fire Stick. Fire TV, all that stuff.
I got the flywheel flows, I revolutionized delivery. Your talents are the beauty like my tax. Bills, Alexa, what do we have that he lacks?
Skills.
That was a great final like mic drop line with the Alexa. What do we have that he lacks? Skills. That was probably Bezos' best line in this whole rap battle. So again, if you want to check out my scoring, you could check out the link to the video in the description and also somewhere up there. But this was a great battle. From what I understand, ERB is going to be releasing another battle before the year is out. So this is absolutely awesome. I love the fact this is the second ERB that I've done as it's come out. Because I started doing ERB reactions about 7 months ago. So mad props to Epic Lloyd, killing it as always. Scru Jean, much love. You know, one YouTube creator to another, man. I could just hope to one day achieve what you achieved and keep on doing what you do, man. You killed it in this one. But again, in my opinion, Mansa Musa wins. Let me know in the comment sections what you think. Let me know maybe some lines that I missed, which happens. But in either case, I've been Teacher Ed, and I'll catch you next time. Fam! And as always, shouting out Teacher Eddie's Patreons who keep things running here. Starting with the top Chancellors tier, Elena G, Alex, Cuckles, Kiara, John Alonzo, Naval Colt, and the Hollow King. The Principals tier, Addison Lynn, Blue Tech, Chad A, Chris H, Chrissy, Clement, Freeman, Laura, Lord Gandalf, Moody Kakari, Nathan M, Quiet J, Rachel H, Rob N, Robin B, and Vijandra. I've been Teacher Eddie, and I'll catch you next time. Fam!